Good afternoon and welcome to State Newsfile. I'm Rachel Weed. Drew Stremick will have a look at all the highlights later on. What can we expect, Drew?
Well, Rachel, I've got a little bit of everything. I've got some Battle of Alberta, I have the Briar Cup happening down in Lethbridge, and some playoff Trojan action.
I am looking forward to it. Sylvia Naranjo has been braving the wind chill outside. Sylvia, how is it out there?
Well, Rachel, it's -9, but the wind is making it feel colder, more like -16. And we are getting flurries right now. This year, it was nicer at 5 degrees. The record high for today is 19 degrees in 1885. Quite a contrast with the record low 71 years ago, when it reached -37 degrees. I can't imagine it. Check out for the full forecast later on the show.
Thanks, Sylvia. Now here's a look at today's top stories. Students have now begun choosing which post-secondary institution to attend. SAIT will host its open house next week, once again in online format. As Gates Warren reports, recruiting new students could be as easy as clicking a button.
Students are logging in to learn about what their potential futures could look like. SAIT will host its annual open house on March 19th, and for the third year in a row, will hold it in the online space. Event organizers say holding the open house online gives them a better understanding of what is piquing students' interests.
With the online virtual environment, we're able to track a whole lot more information about registrations, attendance, what sessions or programs are getting the most clicks and engagement and things like that.
While SAIT sees the online space to be informative from an analytics point of view, current students believe an in-person event to be much more engaging when choosing which post-secondary institution to attend. Students at SAIT say being able to talk to recruiters and instructors in person gave them a much better feel of campus life, something that is missing from a virtual event.
I find it very informational because then you kind of know what the school provides you with and you know where to go and who to talk to.
If you're doing it in person, it will actually be much more informative rather than online, because online is not going to be that much informative, honestly.
I feel like online, this is going to be much more, you need to know what you kind of want to get into. I mean, you can go around, I'm not sure how the open house is going to be structured online, but I'm sure you could go around to each booth and kind of see what's happening at them. I think that's just going to take more time.
SAIT believes having the hybrid of in-person and online events will have a greater impact on bringing in new students around the world.
We need to supply options in post-secondary for people to engage with us. You know, the virtual space is completely borderless, and so we are able to recruit from, you know, anyone from Nanaimo to Dubai or Tokyo.
For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Gates Warren.
It's been 45 years since the United Nations first celebrated International Women's Day. The day centers around women's rights and equality. But as Stacey Hine reports, women in traditionally male jobs still face problems.
Even though women make up 50% of the country's workforce, it's still not all that common to see them in the trades.
They're a bit surprised, but then they're kind of impressed that I'm in this kind of field.
Maddie McDougall is a first-year cabinet-making student. She, like many others in male-dominated fields, still have to cut through some blocks in their path.
Me being a woman has set me back a little bit. A lot of guys think I can't lift as much as they can. I've had a lot of guys try and come to help me lift, even though I can quite lift on my own.
Women in manual labor jobs are often overlooked regardless of their strength and size.
Like, you can be as strong as you want, but when you don't have the weight behind you, sometimes it's a little bit difficult when you've got big, heavy things.
Women bear the burden of forging a new path and fusing the gender gap.
Women make up only 5% of the 1.1 million Canadians in the trade sector. SAIT wants to accelerate the number of women in the workforce and gear towards more equality.
I don't see why it's no different than men, to be honest with you.
Female automotive students say they found the rhythm and can compete with their male coworkers, but still feel like they have to prove themselves.
I think it depends on each scenario. Some men will try to physically challenge you, some men will try to mentally challenge you.
The students hope women can overcome the imposter syndrome that many women face in industry.
I think women should be able to do what they want. So if they want to be in the trades, then they should go for it.
For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Stacey Hine.
The Canadian dollar and energy prices connection has weakened, leaving the Bank of Canada with one less tool to fight rising inflation. To ease inflation, the Alberta government will stop collecting its fuel tax as of April 1st and plans to offer an electricity rebate. The provincial gas tax is 13 cents per litre of gas. With this increase, experts predict other products' prices will rise.
Oil prices being historically low and low investment, so not a lot of new capacity. The second one, COVID, and basically misjudging how long it would take or how much people were going to use, and being very low on the forecast versus reality. And the last one, and most recently, you wonder why it's gone up so much so quickly, is of course the war in Ukraine.
The tax cut will be in effect until the next provincial budget next March, but will be reevaluated every 3 months. Premier Jason Kenney has described the COVID travel restrictions as pointless. He's calling on the feds to end the measures, which he says are hurting the economy and thousands of workers in the tourism industry. Melissa Nolasco is covering the story for us and joins us from 16th Avenue Northwest. Melissa, this may be a big concern for Kenney, but for some of our travel students here at SAIT say otherwise.
That's right, Rachel. It seems like it's not as bad to still have these current travel measures in place. The travel industry might not yet be back on track as it was pre-pandemic, but it's slowly on the move.
And we can focus on getting our lives back to normal.
This is what Kenney had posted in his Twitter account about how the pre-departure COVID-19 testing requirements and vaccine mandates had done their job. The Premier says it is time to stop holding back the tourism industry with these travel measures, but it seems like the airports and even travel agencies are not having the same concerns.
I think that travel is definitely trending up. We in the agency here at SAIT Destinations are really busy booking people to fly not just within Canada, but lots of travel we're booking outside of Canada.
Students training to enter the field have not faced problems looking for jobs as the world is slowly opening again while still having these health policies in place.
I am actually working in the airport right now. I started working last December 2021. It's not really hard for me to find a job in the airport. There's nothing to worry about because, again, everything is going back to normal. And with all the vaccines that's available right now, I think everything will be okay.
It also seems like travelers don't have any problems with the current restrictions as the influx of booked flights are continuously being filled. Companies have been busy adapting to learn to live with COVID while coping with the backlog they have experienced for the past years.
There's some restructuring and reorganization in some of the travel suppliers that we have, but at the same time, there seem to be we're getting emails weekly from agencies and airlines in Calgary that are looking to hire our students.
A motion from the Alberta government will be introduced in the legislature to urge Ottawa eliminate the travel restrictions. Back to you, Rachel.
That was Melissa Nolasco reporting live from 16th Avenue Northwest. Canada's central bank has taken initiative to lower inflation, which reached a 30-year high in January. With the inflation skyrocketing, Calgary has seen a record number of homes changing hands in the past year. Houses seem to be popping up for sale around Calgary and being sold days, even hours after being posted. While local home buyers aren't too worried about qualifying for their mortgage, the real estate industry is seeing signs of a trend that might give home buyers something to stress about.
The market currently in Calgary that we're seeing a big trend of is out-of-province buyers. So that's a lot of the times where you're seeing those housing prices where they're going, 100K over list, no conditions, that type of thing. A lot of that is out-of-province money. And I don't think that they're going to be scared away by a 0.25% increase.
As the Calgary economy continues to recover from COVID-19, the hope is with increased construction activity, the supply of homes will increase. Speaking of COVID, Health Minister Jason Copping and Chief Medical Officer Dr. Dina Hinshaw are currently giving a COVID-19 update. There's just over 7,000 active cases in the province with 1,003 in the hospital. There's 77 in ICU and 8.5 million vaccinations given. More updates are to come later on. Albertans can now order their weed online. The Alberta Gaming, Liquor and Cannabis Commission announced Monday that retailers are now able to add online components to their store. The move to allow the selling of pot on the internet ends the involvement of the province in the online high business. In order for cannabis retailers to order online sales, licensed retailers must operate a physical store and receive an endorsement from AGLC. Cannabis retailers are also responsible to make sure their online platforms meet all AGLC legislation and regulatory requirements. Weed shops also offer the option for delivery for their customers under the AGLC Act. You can get your munchies while ordering your weed. Speaking of the munchies, the reopening of restaurants and other venues have been a welcome sight for many, but for some students it's an even bigger deal than being able to enjoy a nice meal. After 2 years of being closed, SAIT's Taste Market is celebrating its grand opening today. Tommy Osborne has more.
We get to interact with people. It's always a good time.
It's the moment that all the culinary students were waiting for. SAIT's downtown Taste
Interact with people. It's always a good time.
It's the moment that all the culinary students were waiting for. SAIT's downtown Taste Market is finally open again. The Taste Market is one of the more unique restaurants in Calgary. As a restaurant classroom hybrid, it gives student chefs a chance to learn in a fast-paced environment. While cooking meals is obviously the main thing to learn, the Taste Market also teaches students about presentation, marketing, and business regulations. Most importantly, it teaches how to handle a live environment, which is essential to succeeding in industry.
We're trying to provide a student out to the industry that is already versed in live classroom situation or live service. So that's where it really comes into play, is that they've got the experience of actually dealing with the live guests.
While learning the knowledge in a classroom is certainly useful, several students here say that they believe that the urgentness and the fast-paced environment of a real restaurant is something that just can't be matched anywhere else. Jordan Saleh has been a student at SAIT for 2 years and is just now finally getting a chance to work in a restaurant. He says it's important for him and his classmates to work in an urgent setting.
The classroom's one thing. You can get all the knowledge and all the techniques, but it's only going to take you so far in the real world when it comes to real service. I mean, it's not going to be slow-paced. Everything's in the kitchen's always go, fast-paced, that's a sense of urgency.
The Taste Market joined SAIT's other restaurant, the Highwood, in reopening. With both restaurants open, culinary students will have plenty of opportunities to hone their skills and prepare themselves for industry. For SAIT Newsfile, I'm Tommy Osborne.
Those are today's top stories. We'll have your full forecast after the break with Sylvia. But first, Scott Krause has a look at what's going on around Calgary this week.
Calgary's Pump House Theatre is celebrating its 50th anniversary this week. Starting tomorrow night at 6 o'clock, you can join them for the Common Clown Festival. Tickets are free, but you must respond quickly to save your seat. Tomorrow, you can visit the Calgary International Auto and Truck Show. This auto show will display new models and enhanced technologies that are currently leading the automotive industry and give a hint towards what manufacturers are planning for the future. Interested in dance and music, the Southern Alberta Jubilee Auditorium will be hosting a ballet performance featuring the music of David Bowie. The show starts at 7:30 on Thursday, and tickets can be purchased online through Ticketmaster. If you're looking to learn more about NFTs or want to build your own, then you can join other creators, developers, and artists this Thursday at Madison's 12 and 12 in Inglewood. On March 12th at 1 o'clock, you can go to Fort Calgary to learn the historical context and realities of contemporary Indigenous interactions in Canada. They will share stories and personal experiences and discuss ways to apply what they've learned to life.
If you're like me, you might be looking forward to spring, but not just yet. Temperatures are still low. In the West Coast, we have a high pressure system that is going all the way down, and that's what bringing the cold to the prairies. Also, we had strong winds that have been pushing the snow that we were supposed to see this week. We're going to move across the country to the other side on the East Coast, where we have here a low pressure coming from the Gulf all the way up to Toronto. We have temperatures at 3 and 1 degree here, a bit sunny. But if we move towards the Maritimes, the temperatures look a little lower and with snow and some flurries. If you got enough of snow in the winter, you better check out the resorts.
Why
warm and sunny Palm Springs sits at 24 degrees. Higher temperatures in Barbados at 28 and Cancun at 29, but cloudy. And it'll be a nice day to catch a wave in Honolulu at 27. It's hot and humid in Orlando at 30 with rain. Meanwhile, the sun is shining in Las Vegas at 18 degrees.
-9 degrees in Calgary, mainly cloudy with winds from the north at 30 kilometers per hour. There's wind chill -16 in the afternoon, and we might get some flurries later on. In the province, temperatures are still negative. It's very cold in here because of this high pressure that came all the way down. We have flurries, we have showers, and we have snow. So bundle up because this is not going to get better soon. Bundle up tonight, it's getting colder during the evening and windy, wind chill at -27 overnight. We'll see the sun shining again tomorrow at -7. There is a mix of sun and cloud for the rest of the week with temperatures ranging between -3 and -9. And expect mild weather on Saturday at 8 degrees. When we get back after the break, we'll have sports with Drew Stremick.
I had it so good. I had my own car, great grades, everything in my life was going great till I ruined it all. Little did I know, this would be my greatest mistake. Drunk driving. Lawyer fees, disappointed parents, lost car. If only I listened.
Hey, you aren't good to drive home.
Friends don't let friends drink and drive.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry-standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is Broadcast News. Come and dare to be on air.
Welcome back to SAIT Newsfile. Drew Stremick is here to give us a rundown on what's happening in the world of sports. What have you got for us, Drew?
Well, like I said at the top of the show, Rachel, I've got some Flames action for us. The Brier Cup is happening down in Lethbridge, and I've got some Trojans playoff action. Fortune swung in the Calgary Flames' favor last night during the Battle of Alberta. Early on in the first period, there were some attempts made by the Flames to put the puck into the back of the net, but Edmonton goalie Mikko Koskinen denied the Flames an early lead. About 6.5 minutes into the second period, Flames' offensive line had some good attempts, but Tyler Toffoli opened up scoring for the Flames with a quick rebound off Koskinen. Just over 3 minutes later, Toffoli scored again on the breakaway, extending the lead for the Flames 2-0. Oilers forward Devin Shore picked up a rebound after the puck bounced off a ref's skate to get the Oilers on the board. Then with 3 minutes left in the third, Johnny Hockey Gaudreau slipped by Koskinen to put up the final goal of the night. Tyler Toffoli finished the night with 2 goals. Johnny Gaudreau snuck in 1 goal and an assist, and Jacob Markstrom had 26 saves. Devin Shore scored the lone goal for the night for Edmonton with Derek Ryan assisting, while Mikko Koskinen stopped 26 shots. The men's Trojan basketball team threw another point in the win column after they beat the St. Mary's Lightning on Sunday night. The Trojans are 4-time defending ACAC champions and will be hosting the Final Four championship this weekend. The Trojans couldn't be in better position if they tried with a 10-game win streak under their belt, and that winning mindset will no doubt be a big boost to morale and performance when things kick off on the weekend. Senior leadership will also play its part, as some of the veterans have been a part of a number of championships. The Trojans had a great night beating the Lightning 107-76. Gemi Muya and Talek Ross put up a combined 30 points and 21 rebounds during the game, helping the Trojans secure their 31-point win over St. Mary's. In the world of baseball, the MLB presented the MLB Players Association with a new set of collective bargaining hypotheticals on Monday. The league has already canceled each team's first 2 series of the regular season due to the owners' lockout. The league did offer a concession of increasing the competitive balance tax, which is encouraging, but the offer came with major strings attached. Although negotiations are currently in the league's favor, as more time passes, owners stand to lose more and more.
Is that pressure point for the owners? Is it at the end of April when they start losing out on some regional TV money? Is it a little bit beyond that? I think that's sort of the million-dollar question is how much are the owners willing to sacrifice here?
With any luck, both sides can reach an agreement soon, but the longer the lockout drags out, it will only affect the owners and players, but the fans as well. The 2022 Brier is currently underway in Lethbridge, with over 3,000 fans on hand to watch the round-robin action. Calgary's Kevin Cooey led Team Alberta to beat Colton Flash and Team Saskatchewan in an extra end, beating the Flatlanders 9-8. This is the first time Flash was skipping at the Brier, who won a silver in Worlds back in 2019. Flash was disappointed he was unable to capitalize on Cooey's mistakes. Cooey, who shot a game-low 74%, but managed to get the winning point in that extra end. The Paralympic Games are still underway in Beijing. The Games started on March 4th and run until the 13th. With 5 days left in the competition, the medals have been coming in steady for many countries. China is leading the medal count, with Ukraine and Canada following. Team Canada had an impressive day yesterday, doubling its medal count, winning 3 gold medals, a silver, and 2 bronze. Hopefully the Team Canada continue to build its momentum and win more medals before the Games finish on March 13th. The boulder climbing community in Calgary hosted their triple threat competition, drawing in both veteran and new climbers. The sport is climbing in popularity and will be making its debut in the 2026 Olympic Games in Milan. Rye Clark has a look at how the competition here at home is chalking up.
Even quicker race to the top at the first of 3 boulder climbing races. Local competitors were ready to leave the competition in their dust. Kai Wooten was out competing in the triple threat, focusing on his speed and steering around tight positions to save on time.
On the second boulder, it's like a tight coordination move where your hands are really close to your feet. So that took me a few extra tries where I could have done it a bit quicker, ideally.
In the competition, competitors will have 5 minutes to get to the top, being scored on how long it took them, how many attempts, and if they clear the zone. It's a fierce battle that's getting lots of the competitors psyched up and ready to go. Free climbing has been drawing in new athletes who are looking for a sport that offers both a mental and physical workout.
Really fun event, a really fun experience climbing, and I always recommend people to try it because it's a different sport than what most people do. It's very social, and it's more about just like hanging out with your friends, and you get a workout on the side.
Bouldering has been gaining traction since making its Olympic debut at the 2021 Olympics in Tokyo. The sport will continue to be a part of the 2024 Olympics in Paris, with events doubling to 4. Wooten will be hoping to put his skills to the test, retiring his dreams of winning a gold medal and instead looking to help teach others his techniques and raise them up to the podium.
I've kind of moved into a coaching role here at Boulder. So I still compete and I still enjoy it, but I think the main focus is now pivoted away from competitions to coaching younger athletes.
With a quick learning curve and plenty of time to hang around, free climbing offers many opportunities for everyone with soft cushioning to fall back on after a long day. For St. Newsfile, I'm Rye Clark.
And that's a look at sports. Rachel, have you ever tried bouldering?
Unfortunately, I have not, but thankfully I am terrified of heights and falling for that matter, so that definitely looks a little out of my comfort zone.
Maybe not for you.
Yeah. After the break, Scott Krause will have a look at what's the latest in the world of entertainment. Stay with us.
She is stronger. She's more confident. She's happier. Because of your compassion. Because of your support. Because of your care.
Come and learn the breaking world of broadcast news. Find your passion to investigate, write, shoot, edit, and deliver the stories of the day. SAIT's broadcast news program teaches you everything you need to know for a career in radio and television. Become the next great anchor, reporter, or personality using industry standard technology alongside qualified instructors with years of experience. This is broadcast news. Come and dare to be on air.
The world of entertainment is bustling today about the Academy of Country Music Awards that happened last night. Scott, give us the update on what the hot gossip is.
Well, Rachel, the Academy of Country Music Awards was hosted last night, but that's not what music fans in Calgary are thinking about. The heavy metal rock band Alice Cooper is coming to Calgary on April 14th. That Thursday evening at 7:30, Alice Cooper will blast the stage in the Winsport Arena at Canada Olympic Park to play classics like Black Widow and Steven. Fans of comedies and plays are excited for this weekend because Steel Magnolia is coming to Calgary. Steel Magnolia is a play based off true stories that happened to Robert Harling. Robert Harling says the play is meant to capture the mix of strength and vulnerability portrayed by the women he knew growing up. Within 2 years of the play's original release date, the play was converted into a film with mainstream actors like Dolly Parton and Sally Field. Canadian country musician Laurie Cole is expected to play a concert in Calgary this Saturday. Laurie Cole is an upcoming country musician who was born in the town of St. Martin in Manitoba. When Laurie was a young girl, she was a singer in the Manitoba Carol Association. After recording her singles like Catch Me, she is ready to play her songs live in person. At 9 o'clock on March 12th at Big Al's Bar and Grill, Laurie will start her concert. Last night, Dolly Parton hosted the 57th Academy of Country Music Awards. She was joined by two others, Jimmy Allen and Gabby Barrett. The show was hosted in Las Vegas but featured performances from Carrie Underwood and Kelly Clarkson. Country fans got caught up in their emotions when Kelly Clarkson took the stage to honor Dolly Parton by performing I Will Always Love You. The song reached the top spot for the Billboard's Hot Country Songs before Whitney Houston recorded her version of it in the early 90s. And that's a look at entertainment. Back to you, Rachel.
Thanks, Scott. It looks like there was a lot of awards handed out during last night's Academy of Country Music Awards. It's no surprise that Canadians love their cocktails. A number of cocktails have been born in Canada, although one drink in particular has developed into a household name throughout its decades-old history, one born from Calgary roots. Brendan Harper has more.
It's the afternoon in downtown Calgary, and local bars prepare for drink service. For bartenders, a uniquely Canadian beverage is always at the top of the order list.
Caesars, out of all the mixed drinks or highballs, it's definitely the most popular for sure. It's a very easy drink that a lot of people can drink.
You know, it's a classic drink. You know, you've probably grown up drinking them. You've probably seen your parents drinking them. It's like a family heritage type vibe. Any given day, I'm making about 20 or 30 of them on a shift.
In 1969, a restaurant manager by the name of Walter Schell worked locally at the Calgary Inn, now known as the Westin. He was tasked to create a signature beverage for the new restaurant within the inn. As Joan Schell describes, her father had no idea that his Caesar would become a massive success.
Because it was put out there that it was a Canadian drink, it was concocted in Canada, and that the Americans don't know what it is, and at the time nobody knows what it is, so it was strictly our thing. And like if he was alive now, he would just go, he'd throw his hands up like this and go, I don't know.
The Thursday before the May long weekend would be officially known as National Caesar Day.
It's meant to be in Calgary. We created it. I think we have to take that pride, and I really want to make the Caesar akin to like the Sazerac in New Orleans or the Cosmo of New York.
The Caesar is a staple of Canadiana, born from one man's legacy that won't be forgotten. For State Newsfile, I'm Brendan Harper.
So how do you like Caesars? I really like it.
I'm not a big fan myself, but everybody's got their own taste.
Me too. I'm really not the biggest fan, but you know, like Drew said, everyone's got their own taste.
I would like to have one, but during summer. Not yet. Let's going to check the 5-day forecast, and tonight is going to be pretty cold. Tomorrow, the high is -7, and on Thursday and Friday, we'll have temperatures between -3 and -1.
Well, that's all for St. Newsfile. Thanks for joining us, and we'll see you next week.